let us move on and see what's next we have. Then, yeah, there's this federal government ASU to avert fresh strike. And this is what we keep talking about, Already we are in the middle of the year, and we've had one or two issues about strike and warning strike and the rest of it. And these are things that really affect the economy. Students going to school, parents, one way or the other, when a child comes back home and stays at home rather than being in school, those extra costs of, keeping those those children at home, and then the tendency that these children might even veer off the academics because of the saying that an idle mind is a devil's workshop. There are a whole lot of things that are multifaceted in this minimum wage issue. I think the federal government needs to nip it at its bud before it escalates.
Okay, that's a very good one. But we are looking at the other story there. Talking about Senate holding emergency session. And the funny part of it is that they are about to consider supplementary budget for Tinubu's presidential jet.
That is where we talk about misplaced priority.
Exactly. Since we don't know our priority, the other day we were talking about people that were hungry, people that went for pilgrimage, that they are hungry there.
Yeah.
Now today we are talking about supplementary budget. All for what? They want to use it for the presidential jet. I mean, and then the people are suffering.
People are dying.
You cannot even honor what the Labour are presenting, but then you can probably take care of your jet, maybe buy new one or maintaining it. I don't know what they want to use it for.
They say they want to sell some in the fleet of the past administration.
Okay, and buy the new ones.
Buy new ones.
Wow, that's quite interesting.
So, and we're talking about close to 300 billion.
Billion, and not even million, billion.
About 300 billion, yeah, and then we can't even fix something that has to do.
So what happened to the old one? Whatever it is, can't it be repaired? Anyway, let's see the other paper.
The next paper for review this morning is the Daily Times, and the banner headline is saying, "Drop your hands, embrace dialogue. COAS advises agitators, orders," and the writer says, "It's only in a peaceful atmosphere that the economy of any country could thrive." And then we have federal government end meeting agree on amicable resolution. El-Rufai drags Kaduna State Assembly to court for defamation. And the World Drug Day, Tinubu rallies support for drug war. We will not gag the press, federal government assures. And then we have 223 budgets now set to extend implementation of capital component. And then the writer says, hold emergency sessions today. We are considering wide range of issues, Senate spokesperson says. Wow, this is very, very interesting. El-Rufai dragging Kaduna State Assembly to court. Well, it is very, very... This is more like you probably didn't do your homework well, because the person, the incumbent, should have been covering your tracks for you. But it is a case of what's happening in Rivers State, where the former governor and the present are at, will I say, at loggerheads. So let's get to see how far that goes. World Drug Day.
Yes.
It's interesting to see the president throwing his weight support for the drug war. I don't know in what capacity.
From the Daily Sun, they're saying there that they're going to launch Save Our Families campaign and a committee to prevention.
Okay.
Probably the NDLEA, I mean, the work is so much for them to do. So now they're going to launch another campaign against drug and constitute another committee. That's another. These people are still going to pay them at the end of the day.
Of course.
We are saying that we don't have enough money in our coffers. Then we are constituting committee. If NDLEA, this is an institution that is instituted to make sure that they curb, this kind of
drug menace
in our society. Does it mean that they are not doing it well, or maybe they are understaffed? Because I don't understand why we should be constituting another authority, committee. And then again, the Save Our Soul campaign and all that. It's okay to launch a campaign, but the committee of it, I don't understand.
The setting of the committee.
I don't understand it. But then again, we are in a country where once a decision is made, they find it difficult to go back.
Yes. So long it doesn't favor the masses.
Exactly. So, Well, that's it for the Daily Times. Let's also see the next paper. That's the Punch newspaper this morning. The Punch newspaper, Dangote Refinery, crude supply crisis threaten all investment. Operators warn federal government. Federal government urged to deepen investors' confidence. Dangote allays fear over refinery fire. Stress test on banks necessitated recapitalization. This is coming from the CBN. Government asked to meet to avert strike in universities. Federal government banks begin talks on nationwide broadband rollout. Then 423 billion naira theft. El-Rufai sues Kaduna Assembly, challenges probe. Tinubu backs NDLEA to end drug abuse and trafficking. Okay, this is better. National Assembly resumes plans 2023 budget implementation extension. How we killed commercial sex worker for ritual. This is coming from a suspect. And then PDP candidate receives APC defectors, vows to unseat Ayeda Tiwa. Okay, these are the headlines in the front page of Punch newspaper this morning. Okay, so let's look at what is happening. Okay, let's go over to the next paper. That's the Vanguard newspaper before we can now deliberate on the headlines. The Vanguard newspaper is next.
All right, yeah, the Vanguard newspaper, giving it a different banner headline: Cholera, federal government shopping for emergency vaccine. And then we have as Nigeria records 54 deaths, 1,579 cases in 32 states. That's coming from the NCDC. Poor sanitation, containment water, reason for spread. That's coming from Sanwo-Olu, that's the Lagos State Governor. Display product essential information, Lagos State direct stores. Protesters want declaration of emergency in Rivers. And then we have 400, where we've seen that, Osun Monarch, 4 others docked for alleged arson and robbery. And we have Ubade tips Bafana to qualify ahead of Super Eagles. Well, that's not surprising. And we have Forex, CBN discontinues price verification system as criteria for imports. Edo Gilbert, Ojezwa loses bid to disqualify Igodalo. Wow, insecurity, 26,000 killed, 50 communities record 135 attacks in Benue. That's coming from the Amnesty International. And from pen to profit, federal government reaffirmed commitment to free press. Well, that's all that we have for you on the Vanguard.
All right. We've been joined by a guest this morning on the show, in the person of Comrade Uzo Ekemesi. Comrade Uzo is a public affairs analyst. Glad to have you on the show this morning, Comrade.
Yeah, very good morning, Chidima Ajo.
Good morning.
Wonderful morning. To us at home or wherever you are, please join us for us to see what we can do today national topic.
All right. Quickly, let's see this banner headline at the front page of the Punch newspaper, where we're talking about Dangote Refinery. Crude supply crisis threaten all investment operators, warns federal government. And from the right there, we can see federal government urge to deepen investors' confidence. Dangote allays fear over refinery fire.
Very good. When this Dangote Refinery was commissioned last year by the then president of this country, President Muhammad Buhari, we said it, that there is no need of playing a kid glove. You see, Nigeria is a country whereby nothing like policy, nothing like information policy, nothing like, even if using what you have, okay, so you can be able to contend the global economic crisis. Nigeria is a country that is blessed with abundant natural resources. We say it time without number. When people are continuing telling us to pray for Nigeria, I don't know the reason why we should continue to pray, provoking God, when God has already blessed us. Now, I want to ask federal government, what happened to Port Harcourt refinery? What happened to Warri refinery? What even happened to the one that is in Kaduna refinery? Now we are going to a private sector individual, okay, try to concentrate in his own refinery. And it's even a world refinery because it cannot meet the barrels that are required in the global market. And now we're concentrating on that. How can you even supply domestic market? So now, instead of government to use and channel this particular energy to our own refinery, this refinery, put it functional, so that the price of petroleum will now come down, then we have to now do what? Export. Now, we take this oil out, crude oil, refine it, bring it back, and now sell to the independent marketers. Okay?
Leaving the derivatives at the point of production.
Yes, okay. Even if Dangote himself, okay, are crying wolf because you see that this particular foreign tariffs and all these things will now affect him. So now, instead of us to do what's supposed to do, we are concentrating in Dangote is a personal business. Even if you have some PPP there, but what happened to what we have on our own? Why can't we invest on that? They're calling for investors on this. Why Nigerian refinery in Port Harcourt and Warri and Kaduna, no investors. Investors are leaving Nigeria. Multi-trust are leaving. Goodness are leaving. Okay? These are because of what? The economy, I told you that there are two indices that can, used to know a failed state. Two indices. One indices is the way you can no longer control your economy. Two, when you can no longer control your territory. And that's why you see bandits. Nigeria is running a kidnapping enterprise. Every morning, we hear about kidnapping, killing, and all these things. And it's not to do. Like in Afghanistan, every time they wake you up with bomb. Like now today in Afghanistan, they have bomb. That's what is Nigeria now. There's no single day you wake up, you will not hear about kidnap. Okay, deputy VC of this in Sokoto University has been kidnapped. Students in Ondo State kidnapped. Okay, a wife and a medical chief judge and his wife were kidnapped in Burundi. So every day, I don't know whether they have it today in today's day because it must occur there, kidnapped. Okay, so what I'm trying to say, please let federal government channel our energy in this particular our refineries and make it to be functional. So that then, if you want to run a private refinery, you can even buy from the federal government and sell to the individual. Not for you to threaten government to do. It's not running a monopolist, economy, whereby one person will now monopolize the whole economy. Then you are here, you are there, and there. And I'm not against him, but I'm trying to say that government doesn't know what they're doing because it's government that lost focus.
Okay, thank you so much for that submission. Quickly, let's go to the next paper.
Okay.
Oh, you have something to continue?
Yeah, before that, let's look at this particular topic, or rather, story in the front page of Vanguard, talking about cholera. You know, we have a cholera outbreak in Nigeria now, and Lagos is the worst hit, and other states around Anambra State, we have Abia State, Imo State, that have recorded cases. But thankfully for now, we've not recorded any case in Anambra State. But then again, we are not going to keep our hands, just fold our hands, waiting until it enters, because the government of Anambra State, they have been proactive, you know, set up a committee that has been going on surveillance in different local governments to see if we can identify any case and treat it urgently. But then the banner headline there is saying that federal government is shipping for emergency vaccine. So what are your thoughts on this?
My thought is still the same thing that I said earlier when I was talking about crude oil. You see, we are running reactive government and not proactive. Okay? Cholera has claimed 250-something lives. Okay, the emergency people that are in hospitals are lacking vaccine. You see, I want to let you know, as I said earlier, implementation of policy implementation is the problem. Now, during the time of President Muhammad Buhari, they now said that they will stop open defecation. Open defecation, okay, you go to a house or a compound or a room, you didn't see water closet, and you leave it. They go into, not even using a pit toilet. This one is open defecation. They call it BMW, Bush method way. You don't know what I'm saying. They apply this, and you find out that this particular, this rainy season now, okay, rain will fall, collect all these things, and go into waterways, and this water will end up even going to streams and rivers, and most people drink these streams, drink these waters, use it to cook, or whatever, wash their hands with it. Even wash your hand, they can contaminate it because it's a communicable disease. Not only water can carry it, even flash can carry all these things that we're talking about. You see, so what have you done to not do what? To stop this open defecation, to make sure that all the households have a water closet. Yes, he said that Anambra are not good cases now. We don't know whether it exists or not until we find out. You see? But what are we doing? If we, for emergency treatment, whereby we should now tell the Minister of Health in Anambra State to go into the environmental inspection. I know it in those days. They come to your place, inspect the environment, know how your environment look like, whether you are dumping refugees, whether it's dirty or whatever it is, they will be sanctioned. These are what we are going to use to prevent these particular epidemics, which are going to turn to pandemic. And if not going to turn like Ebola when it was there. And good luck said that one man called Saul bring Ebola from Liberia to Nigeria. And this cholera is even worse than Ebola.
Of course.
Because it's, the way it's spread is very, very fast, very, very rapid, so we can control it. So what I'm trying to say is that instead of to deal to the action, let us deal to the cause of action. The cause of action is because of the environmental, open defecation, and all these things. Let us go and deal and stop people using it. If you are getting maybe sometimes people can be traveling and say, they are feeling pressed. They can now do whatever it is. But this one, naturally, you go to north, you see, they will climb rock and start to defecate there. People will be seeing them. Even if you now go to this, this expressway, expressway, people will come to that quota early in the morning. They are defecating. And you see these things, people can sell food there, people can do something there, and they contaminate this. So what I'm trying to say, Anambra State government, in as much as they are working very tirelessly to make sure that they cop this thing, let them go into preventive measure, proactive measure, but by going into checking those that doesn't have a water closest and the environment is very, very dirty, they can cause this thing to spread.
All right, thank you so much for that submission. And on individual basis, while we are still waiting for the government to do their own part, then we need to do ours. Keep our environment clean and make sure that food that you serve your children, food that you buy outside, that they're not contaminated. I remember doing a program on this cholera on the radio. One person called and asked a question, very funny question, that he normally goes out to eat, to buy food from all those people selling food. That he wants to ask if there is any way you can know that somebody that is serving you food has cholera, so that you stop going there. It's a very funny question. But then again, I just told him that if you can minimize, as it is now that we have an outbreak, if you can minimize eating outside, make sure you cook the food you eat, because you don't trust anybody. You don't even know the water they use. But then again, I know that somebody that's suffering from cholera won't even have the strength to stand up and be cooking and be serving you in a restaurant. But so I'm just saying this, that to tell all of us that we still need to do our own part. As individual, you need to make sure that your environment is dirty. And then for people that have these little children, there are compounds you enter in the morning, you see children, like you see physics all over the compound, and you'll be asking questions. Does it mean that these people are not taking care? Especially those people
that are living in uncomputed building in Anambra State, people that are from maybe from Ebony State, Abakaliki or whatever, that are instead of to pay house rent, they will go for uncomputed building, put in zinc and door and live there. There's no toilet. What they use is BMW, okay, or flying method. What about flying method? When they defecate in nylon, they throw it away. It's fly.
Throw it away to where?
Throw it away to the next.
You could land it on top of your vehicle.
I've seen it like that. Somebody was in another part of the the bush. Another person now defecate in his compound and fly it. It landed on his head. So got flying method or BMW. This is what they are doing. So if we should now go and check all these uncomputed people, who put you there? How do you live here? What are your means of convenience? You tell the Minister of Health. If not, you'll be sanctioned. So you'll be cut off.
All right, thank you so much. Let's quickly go over to the Daily Independent newspaper this morning. Tinubu vows to sustain war against drugs, illicit substances. Drug test kits a must for home, schools and offices. Coming from Buba Marwa. Tinubu not working against interests of North, Shetima. Lagos proactive steps averted catastrophic outcome in cholera battle. This is coming from the Governor Sanwo-Olu. AMCON's conflicting profit reports cause for worry. Dangote says fire at refinery won't affect operation. $1 trillion economy. NGX unveils e-offering platform in readiness for banks recapitalization. El Rufai sues Kaduna Assembly over 432 billion naira probe report. Army deploys 177 personnel to Guinea-Bissau for peacekeeping. Only government policies can enhance access to quality medicine. Rivers crisis, explosion at hotel At hotel ploy to foist state of emergency. Fubara. Pro-Wike ex-local government chairman may freeze council's accounts coming from the reps. And then the next paper is the Nation newspaper. Big story in the front page of Nation. Bank face tough conditions in recapitalization drive. CBN targets strong banks capable of supporting government $1 trillion GDP by 2030. President backs NDLEA Save Our Families advocacy campaign. Federal government moves to avert shutdown of varsities. Oyo lawmakers are daggers drawn with speaker. And then police plan data centers for 774 council headquarters. Edo female lawmaker sent out of plenary for improper dressing. Tinubu not discriminating against North East Shetima. And then economy attracted $24 billion FX inflows in the first quarter. CBN ends Form M verification. National Assembly reconvenes today after recess. El-Rufai sues Kaduna Assembly. Comrade.
Okay. Let me first of all take from the one that reads I think it's
Daily Independent.
Okay. President Tinubu vowed to stop drug illicit
substances, yes.
It's a kind of what do you call it? Let me put it in a way of trying just to disguise the implementation of certain issues. Well, NDLE has now come to form a committee, and that committee they are coming with a policy whereby one, those political holders before you go into political system, you must undergo test of drug. That's all. So that before you go there, they will know whether you have been taking drug, narcotics, and other things before you can go into political office. Two, even if they send it to the even husband and wife, before you marry, they will undergo drug test. So they can be able to see whether you have been taking this substance. Before it was only students in the school or whatever, you go to the university, you say these people are testing drugs. If people that are playing football, athletics, can be tested for drugs. What stops us to test those political holders that want to contest election, you undergo drug tests? Because sometimes people they behave like they are suffering from psychomotor delirium. Okay, that is somebody that having a excessive white talk. Somebody will be talking as a governor, as a commissioner, as a president, as a listener. You talk like people that doesn't even have any recourse or whatever. So there must be some substances that are working. That's what I'm talking about. No one that even Jesus tell Peter that what is in you is not even you that are talking. It's Satan goes behind me. So sometimes something can be in somebody talking. You think that this person is drunk as he's talking. Sometimes. So I like what NDA is coming up. Everybody will be tested from president down to the people in primary school. So we can now know how to cut this illicit drug, not to make it as a statement why we cannot carry it out to every ramification, every strata must be undergo that drug. What do you call it?
I hope checkmating the influx of drugs into the country is part of their job too.
Yes,
because you need to checkmate it before you begin to test people, because it's when you have access to it, that's when you pick it. But if you don't have access to it, how do you get it?
There are three factors here. Okay, drug use, drug abuse, and drug misuse. Okay, you're talking about if you talk about drug abuse. Now people can take it either it's overdose or maybe underdose. That is what we call abuse. Then misuse is that if you want to take paracetamol for your body pain, you now go and take analgesics, other things, okay, or maybe take malaria drug. It is misuse of drug. Then what I take a drug use, and this sometimes is narcotics. Somebody can beat his wife blue and black, and they have caused a plot of domestic violence and lead to death. Is somebody a pregnant, a heavy woman? His husband is punching him, or a wife can carry hot water and pour her husband because it goes under drugs. You don't know who takes it. They sell it on this street. They put it in the can. Put it what call it in Pepsi. Colus. The woman was drinking. It's not a Pepsi drinking. It's drug. It's happening here. So what I'm talking about that president is saying this, we now talk about doing things in order. Let me just tell you one thing. One funny thing. In 2007, okay, Nehu Rabadi was the FCC chairman. Nehu Rabadi now says that Akpabio is a most corrupt governor. Oduso Kalu is a most corrupt governor. Tinubu is a most corrupt governor. Okay? Now, the same Ribadu now is now EFCC chairman.
No.
Sorry, National Security Advisor.
Yeah.
Akpabio is the Senate President. Oduso Kalu is the Chief Whip. then President Tinubu is not president. All these things, people that will leave our hopes of their children on hands. What statement of credited to Nigu Rabado? So what I'm trying to say is that these people that's on top will start to carry these things down, start to implement it. He who do what? Assert must do what? Prove in law. So we must lead with example, be a premise interpreter. So if the president said this, let us start from that particular presidency down.
All right, before we go to the next paper, what's also your thoughts on this particular story? Talking about Army deploying 177 personnel to Guinea-Bissau for peacekeeping. We are insecure in this company. And
I can say it is working in full paradise because you cannot even secure this particular country. Now, you are deploying 177 troops to Guinea, like you fight ECOMOG there. Okay, ECOMOG in Liberia, we send them all these things to peacekeeping. Why our home, okay, is tattered, devastated by bandits, by terrorists, by kidnappers, by hoodlums, every now and then, ritualists. This thing happens every day, now and then. Okay, now let me just tell you, baby, I'm thinking about one thing that's happening. I have not seen Guinea, Sierra Leone, Liberia, which we fought, even South Africa, which we helped to get freedom from apartheid, send their troops to Nigeria to help us fight these insurgents. Why?
Because you've not made it a case of...
Yes, now.
No, excuse me. We feel that you can do that alone. And the other thing is that, let me just tell you, I told you that Sani Abacha, when was head of state, said that if insurgency lasts for 24 hours, government's hands are on it. If you bring these foreign people now here, they don't look at face. They don't look at face. The man that they caught in Cairo trying to fly, which they said is sponsored Boko Haram, okay, they bring him back to Nigeria. What about the case? Have you seen anybody prosecuted? Have you seen anybody jailed? Have you seen anybody do these things? Sometimes you say somebody was crying a wolf that a top military, they arrested somebody to be a bandit, and a top politician give order for him to be released. So what I'm trying to say, if you bring these foreign people now, let me just say they will not look at face. That's why they are dodging. Say, oh, we are capable of handling it, and you are dying. Okay, it's like playing a Roman fool. Okay, and die in your own soul. Why you see others life and death people upon them. So going to Guinea, why Guinea better than us?
Well, before we go on the next paper, there's this story that appeared on 3 of these dailies so far. Tinubu not discriminating against the North. That's coming from the Vice President.
Not discriminating against the North.
I believe that there is no smoke without fire. For this to have made the headlines, I think there are rumblings in the North for the Vice President to come up and defend his master. What's your take on that?
I would not say that, because by statement that he made, okay, the security of the North is in the hand of the North. After all, the North is the National Security Advisor. All of them are chief of defense staffs. All this thing are there. So how did you make them? If you're representing yourself, I say that these people are having sponsors. One of the method of fighting insecurity is not kinetic formula. It's center of gravity. Okay, who are they? Where did they come from? Why did they go after attack? Who sponsored them? When Osama bin Laden bombed America in Pentagon, okay, America did not drink of wars for them not to come back. They don't bring all these things. What America did, this man has come and attacked us. Where is this? Where did he live? Where did he come from? Where is he? They go after him, get him, and destroy him. So what they're going to do is that not, okay, are saying this. What of when President Buhari was president, okay, when we're saying that in the South, did they agree with us or that? Why President Buhari even appoint lopsided, appointment only for the North? Yet we are devastated. Now they are giving you that particular power, yet we are still devastated, which means what indefatigable leaf is beyond debatable leaf itself.
Thank you so much. The next papers for review this morning is the Daily Guardian and the Guardian and the Daily Trust. Let's begin with the Guardian. And the banner headline is saying, high cost of care hits public hospitals. Uninsured patients, that's it. We see Northeast home to over 2 million uneducated children, says UNICEF. Nigeria recorded 75,000 new HIV infections in 2023, says NACA. Naira depreciation add 17.8 trillion to public debt in 3 months. Murik Arewa Group knocks Sokoto over. Passage of anti-sultanate bill. Cholera, Nigeria records 54 deaths, 1,579 cases. in 32 states. Shadow of presidential aircraft hangs over NAS emergency meeting today. Hundreds of APC members decry hunger decamped to PDP in Ondo State. Quickly, let's see what we have on the Daily Trust. Niger mining pits collapse, over 30 still trapped 3 weeks after. 4 mutilated bodies recovered in 2 days. Operation done manually, victims' family. El Rufai sues Kaduna Assembly. We've seen that. Man mobbed for stealing pot of rice in Federal Capital Council. Don't allow tribalism into your affairs, Sultan tells Nigeria Army. Nigeria borrows 7.71 trillion in first quarter of 2024. That's coming from the DMO. 6 students drowned in River Kaduna after exams. Kenya president drops tax high after deadly unrest. That's what we have for you on the Guardian and the Daily Trust. Quickly, high cost of Medicare, hit hospitals and uninsured Nigerians. And I'm sure you all know most Nigerians are even uninsured. So when we're talking about this hike in cost of medical care, we know the people that hit the most, because the so-called elite travel abroad for their medical expenses. What do you think the government can do in order to make sure that Nigerians don't die in their dream in trying to seek medical health?
Well, when the medical doctors in Nigeria are trying to check out what happened, okay, it's because of one. We talk about the government hospital, okay, health insurance. Is it, like in Anambra, they have answer, okay. Now, is it in government hospital or private hospital? You find out that in private hospital, most of them have, I know a hospital in Okaya that has about 5 dialysis of machine, okay, for kidney. Why you go to government hospital, you just only see only one. So all these kinds of things, which is a kind of prevailing disease, people now suffer, okay? They will not go to private hospital, and when they will not pay high bill. It's until the government equip the government hospital standard, then the cost of health, okay, we now do what? Come down. Treatment of all this, and people can be insured. I want to even urge people in Anambra State to key into this Anambra State health insurance scheme. Because even if that you don't have, they can subsidize this for you. But
yeah, because of that subsidy that we're talking about.
Because of people now, like maybe it's because of staffing there. Government have done their policy, fine and good. Okay, but do we checkmate those people that are in hospital? Whether they give the patients a proper attention that requires, that make them to even go that way and start going to private hospital for them to get maybe a better treatment or whatever. So this is what government will do. Yes, that policy is fine, okay, for that subsidy they are giving. But we want our what do you call it, our product assistance in Anambra State to key into this particular thing. And again, government should checkmate the public hospitals. They know that public goods are used for, public money are used for public goods. We cannot public money used for private goods. So now, because most of the hospitals, doctors can leave the place and go to the private clinic and start tending to people. Why are you working under government? If you don't want to work under government, go and build your own hospital. Stay there. Those who want to work government and do that. I've never seen a lawyer that work in Ministry of Justice as a state council going to have a private chamber. They are there defending people, okay, defending government in the court of law. So this is what we're going to now make to be a proper policy implementation. Then coming to the issue of what do you call it? That's what you said about Naira, okay, depreciation attract 7.8 trillion in 3 months. That's what I want to tell you, that PDP borrowed about 6 trillion in 16 years, okay, of their regime. You see, APC has borrowed 76 trillion under 9 years. So multiply it, maybe 9 plus 9 is 18, okay? So 76 times 76 will give you about how many? 152 trillion. That's what we expected. And they divided the debt that among 250 million Nigeria. Chidimma, their own is about 158,000 naira. And they are saying about minimum wage. You as a career civil servant that have 35 years of services, and somebody that is a senator allocating himself hardship allowance, newspaper allowance, wardrobe allowance, domestic allowance, ajoro. That Senate President Akpabio and other members of the House of National Assembly, okay, they and the woman that is selling bitter leaf at Ikoka, who is under sun, okay, and rent, try to make daily livings for his kids or whatever, for her kids, whatever. I want to compare both of them and who is under hardship. But the hardship allowance is about 8.something million, okay, in a month. Look at what it is. You see, so Lagos now ended in dreadlock. There's no compromise between them and the federal government. So we're waiting for them to take an action. 250,000 naira is the benchmark. Federal government has said 62,000 naira. Even some states have said they're not going to pay that 62,000 naira. But the state government are paying 70,000. Now let me just put it like this: if they come into that particular scenario and now know that all these government workers, this one Pontio and elected, okay, should come down to minimum wage of 62,000 naira, then we will leave them. Or we go high to that particular amount of 500,000 so they can be able to equilibrium. It's not going to practice government of inequality. Okay, we will born equal to end up equal. So as they are earning that in Senate, so shall they pay you to you, so that all of us will now be equal. Or we reduce it to BRS minimum, so that all of us will take 30,000 naira and go home and leave the rest for our children in future.
All right. Well, unfortunately, this is where we are ending the press review this morning. I want to say a very big thank you to you, Comrade Uzo Ekemeze, for joining us on press review.
Thank you, Chidimma, for having me on that. I'm happy today that I was not bombarded because
It's okay. Thank you so much, our viewers. Well, that's it for the press review this morning. We are going to take a short break, and when we come back, we'll see you at the other side. Stay with us. My name is Chidimma Orangwa.
And I'm Ajumichuku Okawu.